Hello. So this is the video that some of my Facebook friends have been waiting for. And this is my version of Mediterranean black beans and rice. Today it's black beans. You can really use any bean. I didn't use canned. I am now using organic dried beans and cooking them myself. I've done videos on how to cook beans and how to cook rice to remove arsenic. Anyway, I am going to measure and weigh. And, you know, I'm just measuring because it's, you got to start somewhere, right? But it doesn't really matter. That's one thing I love about cooking itself. This is just shy of 3 cups of black beans. And it's like we're just going to do measurements on this instead of weight. Okay. So about 3 cups. And it started with 1 cup of dried raw beans. The rice, I didn't have a full cup. It's time to go to the health food store. But it's close enough to, again, just shy of 3 cups of cooked rice. And I started with about 3/4 of a cup, I believe. All right. This, I'm attempting to eat more Mediterranean style, and it's not that they don't eat any meat, but I'm still trying to cut mine way down. So this, I used chicken the last time, chicken thighs, and I marinated it with olive oil, cumin, and lime juice. It, on its own, it didn't thrill me, but it was perfect in this dish. This is turkey breast that I've cubed up, and I just sprinkled it. This was easier than the whole marinade thing. I just sprinkled it with salt, Himalayan pink salt, garlic powder, and cumin, and then I cooked it in my cast iron skillet in a generous amount of olive oil. I'm going to mix all of this in here. And again, you know, it's whatever, however much you want. It doesn't matter what I started with. We are going to chop an entire bunch of parsley. I've already moved a lot of the stem. We're going to remove more. So let's see, what can I talk about today? It's February. It's dreary. I made some shortbread cookies. Got some in the oven because I have actually sold the entire batch. And I just didn't feel like recording the recipe, so I will do that very soon. They are so good. And a nice sweet treat. You know, shortbread cookies, I actually cut the sugar down. This was a recipe that was provided to me. And I've made some changes like I do with everything. And one of those changes was to cut the sugar down dramatically. But they're still sweet enough. It's shortbread. What can I say? All right, so I've pulled out a lot of the stem. It will all be composted. I think that I'm really finding my groove, I guess, in my purpose and what I want to do. About time I'm 67 years old. But it's never too late, right? Anyway, you just kind of oh, that's my cookies. Hang on. Okay. Cookies weren't quite done. So when you're chopping a large mound of herbs like this, you need to get it broken down, because as you can see, pieces are falling off. Parsley is so good for you. I use a produce wash of water and baking soda. Do not buy commercial produce washes. You do not need them. Most, I don't know what I was going to say. Most what? I buy a lot of organic vegetables. Most herbs, I don't think you need to, because they're herbs and there's not a lot of bugs. They probably don't have a lot of pesticides on them, but you can Google Dirty Dozen or Clean 13, or maybe it's Clean 15. I don't know. If you Google Dirty Dozen, that will bring up Environmental Working Group's list of this year's produce that they have tested, and really strongly encourage you to buy organic. They are just high in pesticides. I believe green onions are on that list. I know sweet bell peppers are. Anyway, you can see now this is gotten down to a manageable pile and it's not falling everywhere. We're not going to be super particular about the size, but you can see that it was, most of it was finely chopped, and we are adding that to our bowl. Composting, that's what I was talking about. I compost. I am planning on moving to a piece of property this year with a friend, maybe 2 friends, maybe 3 friends. We want community. We each have separate gifts and talents, and so we are going to create a village of sorts and support each other as we age in place on our property. So this was one bunch of green onions. And again, you can use green onions. Last time I used 3 or 4 green onions and some chopped onion. It doesn't really matter. The only thing that is cooked is the beans and the rice. And then I just heat it before I eat it. Now my cookies are done. Okay. It calls for 1/2 cup of lemon juice. I used lemon juice last time. I'm using lime juice this time. There may not be 1/2 cup in here, but again, this is cooking, not baking. So it's, you know, it's kind of like to taste. So we're going to play it by ear. This is an old-fashioned, I love this, hardwood, nothing to break. I just, I'll put links. So I'm squeezing the lime juice. Now, limes don't have a lot of pulp that come out, and they don't really have seeds. So I am not using a strainer. If I was doing lemon, I absolutely would do my little strainer. I have a video. I will put the link in the description to choosing the juiciest citrus, and it is a matter of how smooth the skin is. When it's when it's bumpy and has large pores, or it's just a rough surface, you're not going to get a whole lot of juice. It's probably an older fruit, and so the rind is really thick, and it's kind of taken the place of the juice in the pulp. And I know for a fact that the smoother the skin, the juicier the fruit, but I don't know exactly why that is. If somebody knows, you can comment. So there isn't really a sauce on this dish. I don't even think we have a quarter cup. Not even a quarter cup of lime juice, but we're going to go with that. I may or may not add some lemon juice. I'm going to add the pulp just because. I buy mini. These are organic. I buy the mini ones because they keep so much longer in the refrigerator, and I like to keep my food waste down. So I buy them by the bag as opposed to whole peppers. If you have a larger family and they don't go to waste, I'm looking for my paring knife. You can use the regular peppers. It doesn't really matter. Okay. I love this paring knife. Again, the link will be in the description. It came in a set of 3, and the blades are so thin. They're amazing. I just find thick bladed paring knives to be rather clunky, especially when you're cleaning peppers or slicing icebox cookies, or trying to think what else. I find this to be an amazing knife for so many things. I do not have a thick paring knife. So we're going to chop all of this pepper. It's actually all that I have. And again, not important. It's just an important addition for flavor and color and texture. So you always want to cut peppers skin side down, because the knife can bounce off of the pepper and take the end of your finger off. Ask me how I know that. That was a lesson I learned in the first job I had working as a chef. So we're just going to go slow, because some are up, some are skin side up, some are inside up. And it probably could use a little more pepper. And I'll reflect that on the recipe. I will record the measurement as what I think the ideal amount. Okay. Now we're going to add seasonings. Cumin, one of my absolute favorites. paprika, and you can use smoked paprika or regular paprika, turmeric, which is so good for you, and a little bit of cayenne, and then garlic. Cayenne, we're just going to do a sprinkling. Cumin is a half a teaspoon, and again, I don't level them off when I cook. And in fact, the turmeric, I'm going to add more than it calls for. And actually the cumin as well. So the recipe, yeah, I guess I'm using more than a half a teaspoon. So the recipe will reflect a teaspoon of each of these seasonings because that's what I think will be the best. So I wanted to break into this video for a moment to explain that I used a little too much seasoning. Now, I consider that a mistake, but I learned from my mistakes, and that's the attitude you need to have. I could have completely redone the video and taken it out, but let's instead view it as a teaching moment. Learn from our mistakes and move on. So the recipe that I have that will be copy and paste in the description will be the appropriate amounts. So you can then, once you make the dish, can adjust it up or down to your own taste. And then a couple tablespoons of olive oil. This olive oil is from Italy and it is unfiltered. I get it from Trader Joe's, and it usually comes in a little after Christmas and is not available the entire year. But whatever olive oil you prefer, we will stir this up. I might have to put it in a different bowl. And I think we got it. It might be quicker if I put it in a different bowl. But then I'd have to wash the bowl. And you know, I'm like all about efficiency. I don't even know. Maybe putting it in another bowl would be more efficient, but it's the washing of an additional bowl that is informing my decision. All right, so we're going to add some salt. Again, I'm going to add a teaspoon. That was a half teaspoon measure. I'll stir it up a little bit and add some more. This is beautiful. And another half teaspoon of salt. Oh, the garlic. I'm going to use minced, which is a dehydrated garlic, just for expedience. It will rehydrate. I'm going to taste it. Really good. And then we will spoon it up. And you can serve this with different sauces. That's one thing about Mediterranean cooking. There's typically some kind of dressing on it. How beautiful this is, especially on these bird plates. I'm going to be making some tzatziki sauce today. I'm using full fat. That low fat or no fat Greek yogurt is not really yogurt. Anyway, this will soften the herbs and spices that are in it. And it's just so refreshing. But look how beautiful that is. And delicious. Enjoy.